Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Incredible Hulk, issue number 11. This was a pretty decent story. Not a great story. And the art was horrible. You can leave now. I'm going to explain some more. But it has to be understood. That's my stance on this. But let's go into the nitty gritty after we talk about who made this book. All right. This is Frozen Charlotte, part 3 of what I can only imagine is 3. So we'll move on to a different story after this. Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer. Danny Earls on guest art. Matthew Wilson doing the color art. VC's Corey Petit on letters. Nick Klein is the cover artist. Couple of variant covers out there. Enjoy. So, for all intents and purposes, this was a pretty interesting way of finishing this storyline, which worked really well with the overall story and the even greater overall theme of this current incarnation of the Incredible Hulk. Mind you, realistically, we're ignoring the Donny Cates thing, the Space Hulk that happened before this, and we're just pretending this is right after the Immortal Hulk, right? Hulk is still immortal. Hulk is not a spacefaring spaceship, starship Hulk, and all that nonsense, all right? We're going into the really real stuff here. This storyline was actually really good, but as far as the ending, basically, here's the crux of it. Hulk goes and beats up Frozen Charlotte. We find out her true name. Read the book for more. And then it ends. Here's the spoiler part. Hand up means that hopefully the comic book pages are finished. The preview pages are finished. When the hand is up, that's when the spoilers are. I'm going to drop my hand and then the spoilers are over. Okay, so here comes the spoilers. Are we ready? After Hulk beats up Frozen Charlotte, Lucifer Morningstar shows up. No, I swear to God, it's Lucifer. I have never been a fan in my life of Marvel using actual biblical characters for their stuff. No, it's supposed to be its own universe. I honestly, genuinely, in my heart, believe it's stupid to bring in God, right? Or Jesus, or Lucifer himself. Okay, we've always used Mephisto and many of the other Marvel characters to be the Marvel Universe version of the devil. There is no Jesus, there is no Satan in this universe, all right? Ghost Rider tried to do it. It was okay to a certain degree. They still used Mephisto instead, and now they're actually going into full-blown nonsense with this. I hate it. I hate it. Marvel should be its own mythology, not just a product of its times by very weak storytelling and using modern Judeo-Christian. Like I don't want to see Allah showing up. If somebody wants to say, Allah, okay, fine. If Allah shows up, you know what? Screw that. If Allah showed up, that writer would have his head cut off, especially the artist. All right? So there's that. No, Jesus didn't show up in here or anything like that. Whatever it is, what it is. But I'm just saying, don't bring modern religion into things, all right? What's wrong with using Zeus and Thor and all those, right? We don't need this. Anyway, that's what happened, and he took her away, and it was a big angel thing, and God, I hated that ending. Okay. So that nonsense aside, this was a good story. If this was just a regular old monster, right? I would have loved this. I would have loved this story. I'd been like, oh, feed me more, Seymour. Feed me more. Some of you 1985 Little Shop of Horrors fans are going to be like, yeah! But, Rick Moranis, baby. So anyway, oh my God. I loved every other aspect of this story. Fantastic. The way this ended, I don't know what's going to happen to this girl right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, hey, this is not a main character. So it could literally be, this is your life, B. This is your life now. This is you deciding you want to go off and be in this. If you would have just run away from home, done your own thing, we good. But no. You decided to go off and pretend that you were something that you weren't. namely a monster. And now you're a victim. Wow. Wow. I love it. I love that. The thing that I don't love is the art. I'm sorry. I don't usually say I'm sorry. I'm sorry is a responsive character is something about somebody's character. I am not a sorry individual. All right, but I do apologize. I apologize. I'm in Canada. Sorry is everywhere. Anyway, I do apologize. Okay, but as mean as this sounds, the guest artist should not be brought back. I'm sorry. Go back. Like there's some beautiful stuff in here, and make no mistake, the colors that were done in this really only made it worse because some of the background stuff actually looks amazing, and it's the colors that make it look cartoony. Here's the problem with that. I fully understand why Matthew Wilson did the colors the way he did. Because the drawing of the characters, totally cartoonish. So I'm going to go back to the page on here. So Matthew Wilson made everything on here, the color artist, made every single image on here look cartoonish with his colors. The problem is guest artist Danny Earls made the characters look cartoonish. There was no inks. Now, if there was supposed to be an inker and the inker just didn't show up and Danny Earls wasn't paid to ink, is what it is. Okay? Then that's hardly his fault. But if he was expected to ink also, and this is what we got, I mean, even the Hulk didn't look good. At least off the regular human characters, the monster characters, like, the Frozen Charlotte, these characters did not look good at all. They looked absolutely cartoonish. And we're trying to tell a horror story here. Yeah. The only way that Matthew Wilson could make the whole book look consistent was to base the colors of the whole book off of the way the characters looked. Because I don't know how there's a way to make those characters look good with the colors and not with everything else. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a weird thing there. Danny will be fantastic at certain kinds of art. I don't think this was the book for him, though. I really did not like the colors in this at all. It was actually done very, I'm not going to say childish, but I look at it and I see my oldest son kind of coming up in the art world, and he just showed me this comic book. Actually, I kind of wish I could show it. I don't know where it is, and I don't have his permission to show it. But it actually looked very similar. I go back and I look at this story again this morning, and I'm just like, wow. This looks like the cover of the comic book that my son just made. Oh, yeah, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. It's just, for this story, it's bad. Now, on the independent circuit, on the indies comics, I think that even a horror story there would be good. But as far as doing Marvel characters, DC characters, this simply did not work. There was nothing about this that worked whatsoever. Just, I don't mean to harp on this so much. I'm simply going to say that the art is seriously the thing that's holding the story back from being fantastic, aside from the spoiler stuff that I gave before. So they kind of made it end a little bit, not flat, because the ending is still phenomenal, but the characters that they put in the ending of this, it's like, why? It just made it soft. But it's the art that actually brought this whole story down, right? It's the only thing about it. And that stinks. Guest artist, you shot your shot. Look, I'm gonna put, and I'm seriously, I'm dead serious about this. Go look up Theodore Roosevelt, the Man in the Arena speech. I am just a reviewer. I am an idiot. All right? I have no idea what I'm talking about in regards to actually doing comic book art, because I haven't done comic book art since I was in vocational school for art. All right. I was good then. My mother and a whole bunch of people told me, you're not going to make any kind of money doing this. And I was dumb enough to believe them. So I will say this, Danny Earls doing what I couldn't do. So understand that. All right. I am not here to blast the individual. This man, as far as being a comic book artist, I can't even say 1,000-fold, an infinite-fold better than me, because I've never even thrown my hat in the ring. Okay? Never even done that. I have nothing against Danny Mills. But I have to, as a reviewer, I have to be honest. The art was not fit for this comic book. It dragged the whole story right down. So, I don't know what I would do if I was hungry. I need to feed my family and whatnot. But what I will say is this. Sometimes, and this is something I can absolutely speak on, sometimes, and this is kind of like a Steve Ditko thing. Sometimes if you're not a good fit for this story or this job or this whatever, it's a better thing to just not do it. To say, I'm going to decline because I don't think I could do this justice. This way your reputation isn't hurt when you do the thing and it falls flat. So I would suggest, being careful of the jobs that you take. All right? If somebody offered me a job drawing for comic books, I would say no. Because I suck at drawing nowadays, right? But with Danny, I think that the better part of valor would have been saying, I don't think I could do this story justice. I'm going to stick with this, but you keep me in mind. Because you come up with a story that I think I'm a good fit for, I'm going to kill it. That's all I can say about that. Guys, take care. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.